What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chazz Ellis once again. And a lot of young guys ask me if they should be paying all the bills or not. And I'm going to tell you, do what you want. But if you're asking me for my advice, if you're asking me for what I think you should and shouldn't do, I'm going to give you several reasons right now why you should not pay all the bills, especially when you just start out in a relationship. Most people are going to tell you if you're going 50-50, she's not going to respect you the same. If you're not the one paying all the bills, if she got to go to work, she's not going to have the same respect for you. Well, you can't buy respect. Let me give you an example. I used to work in the jail. And one of the first things they tell you in jail is not to give people anything. You know, don't trade, obviously don't take stuff from people, but don't give people anything. I think we can understand why you don't take things from people in jail. If not, we got a lot of work to do. But why don't you give things to people in jail? Well, a lot of people think if they give things to people in jail, they become their friends. They think these people will start liking me, will be cool, and then I won't have any static while I'm here in jail. Well, jail doesn't work that way. The real world doesn't work that way either. It's just that jail is an extreme version of what happens in just a regular society. Obviously, they're probably not going to do you like they would in jail in regular society. You know, you could be at a Diddy party, but just in general, they're not going to do you that way. But what jail shows you is when you try to give people food, money, let them use your phone, what ends up happening is they just expect it. They don't have any kind of respect for you. Now, if you fight, stand up for yourself, people actually have real respect for you. What a lot of guys try to do is they try to buy respect because they never learned how to get any. Your woman is going to respect you based on what you would do if she doesn't respect you. If you're like, if you don't respect me, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go smash one of your homegirls. Whether they want to call that respect or not, they're going to show you a lot more respect. If they know that you won't tolerate that and you'll move on, if they know you're not willing to put up with certain things, that's how you get respect. Not by paying all her bills, not by buying stuff for her. She can say that's what's going to make her respect you, but in real life, she just wants you to do that. Respect isn't voluntary. If somebody can say, I won't respect a man if he doesn't pay all my bills, well, respect isn't voluntary. You're not going to spit in Mike Tyson's face in a dark alley by yourself. That means you respect him. You could call it fear, you can call it whatever you want to, but there's an element of fear in respect. That means that you respect a person because you know they don't play like that. I'm not saying you got to get violent with your girl or anything like that, but the fact that you will not tolerate it and you're willing to chuck her the deuces if she tries to play any of those type of disrespectful games. If you stand on business, as they say, and you don't tolerate certain stuff, that's what's going to get you respect, not paying for stuff. Whatever you're supposed to get from paying all the bills, it just doesn't last. Eventually, she's going to go back to work. If you guys have kids together, she's taking care of them for a while. Eventually, she's going to take her butt back to work. Like, what do you expect? She's going to stay at the house for the next 25 years? It's not 1955. Yeah, back then, dudes would take care of their woman, and their woman would stay in the house for forever because there was no good job for them to leave the house and go get. Now, there are good jobs for them to leave the house and go get. And a lot of women are going to take that, especially once their kid gets to a certain age. When you guys got children that are both in school, a lot of times your girl going to go back to school while the kids are doing whatever they're doing, and then she's going to want to get a new job. Well, what does that mean for you? That means you're going to have to pick up a lot of the slack and do a lot of the housework and childcare and things like that. Now, eventually, once she gets her education or whatever she's trying to do and gets a job, she's going to be working hours. She's going to even be working while she's in school. She's going to be doing some schoolwork, which is going to cause you to have to pick up slack like we talked about before. Now, once she gets a job and all of that kind of stuff, you've been paying all the bills. You think she's going to get a job and then start paying half of them? No, that's very unlikely. She's going to want to keep her money in her pocket. She may pay a couple bills here and there, but who wants to go to work all day just to pay the same bills that they were getting paid for them before? Not going to happen. But she is going to be tired from that job. So where does that leave you? That leaves you now doing 50% of the housework, or maybe a little bit less, and doing 100% of the bill paying. So you're doing more than 50-50. You used to have a division of labor. Now you don't. Now it's basically you're both occupying the same space, but you're the one paying all the bills. You're gaining nothing. And ultimately, you're going to end up being the bad guy in most cases. So if you say, well, when you going to start cleaning up again and taking care of the kids like you used to do? I work just like you do. She ain't saying I don't pay the bills like you do. Oh, that's what you want from me, just to make me have to work all the time. You've been holding me back in this relationship, and I gave up my career and my life for you, and now I want to get my life. I got to have a life too. These are the type of things you're probably going to hear, and you're going to be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, you didn't even want to work. Weren't even in a position where you could get a good job when I first met you, and that's why you stayed home. It's not like you just hopped out on a job, on a career that you had. It wasn't like you were out here, CEO at Apple or something like that. You didn't even have a job. You were mopping floors or whatever. So why am I the bad guy? But that's kind of usually how it turns out. People forget everything you did for them. And that brings me to my next thing. The game ain't built on gratitude. The fact that you think that because you've done this and because you've done that, somebody's going to have some sort of feeling of debt to you, or feel like, you did this for them and they owe you, or that they should be grateful for all the sacrifices you made, working class hero type of stuff. That's not going to happen, man. They have too many people to tell them not to be grateful for what you did. All they're going to do is pick out the things you didn't do. Most of the time, like, go look at how often you see guys talking about, yeah, I took care of my woman, I paid for everything, I did this, I did that. And as soon as they say something bad that the woman did, you see so many people sticking up for her and blaming him for what happened in the situation. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to be the good guy. You don't get to ride off into the sunset. You're a man. If things go sideways, you are going to be blamed for it 99.99% of the time. So thinking that you're going to get some level of gratitude because you took care of somebody for 4, 5, 6 years, they are going to completely forget about that in most cases, whether you're together or break up, whatever the case may be, because people want what they want. They want the situation to go the way they want it to go, which means that if you've already stacked up a certain amount of leverage on your side, if they just forget about it, then they can do whatever they want. You didn't do anything. I could have took care of myself. I could have paid those bills myself, but I was doing stuff for you. I'm the person who built you to be who you are. Now, they ain't gonna give you no credit for building them. So the game's not built on gratitude. So if you're gonna do something like pay all the bills, you have to do so understanding the fact that there will be no gratitude from her or your children or anybody if it doesn't suit them for there to be gratitude. Now, a lot of y'all gonna listen to old dudes, people my age and older, because a lot of us are ego investing. A lot of us are people who never got girls in high school, never got girls in college, got a good job and was able to get some podcast equipment, was able to get onto a channel, hire some women to come on the show or whatever, or people in general, and make it look cool. And now, people my age, they will tell you anything. Well, people my age, we'll most of the time, if you didn't get girls in high school, you didn't get girls in college, and now you got a good job and that gave you the ability to get a voice, you'll tell people anything. You'll tell people anything. People my age are ego invested in the decisions that they've already made. They already been paying for their wife. They know good and well she would leave them if they weren't paying for everything. They know good and well they couldn't get a girl if they weren't paying for anything or everything. If she had to pay 50% of the bill, she'd walk. So then they start trying to make it seem like it's a choice that they made because they're a man. Oh, I did that because this is what a real man does. You did it because you can't do anything else. That girl let somebody else blow her back out for a trip to Burger King. You married her and paid all her bills and all that kind of stuff because she wouldn't let you do it. That's the reality of it. She wouldn't respect you. She wouldn't give you any love. She wouldn't be in a relationship with you unless you paid all the bills, did everything. It's not real respect. It's not real love. It's I need you right now for these bills to be paid. And what I do in 5, 10 years, who knows? But then they'll be backpedaling, talking about all women are trash and all that kind of stuff. You know, so they don't take accountability when they trick you into ruining your life. Women are also going to keep up the program, which is good for them. They're supposed to do that. They want to make sure that they can get the things they want, like being taken care of, having their bills paid, getting their nails done, all those things. They're not the bad guy in that situation. If you believe it, that's on you. A lot of women are going to tell you, yeah, I would never respect a man if he don't pay all my bills. They know good and well they were respecting the dude that they were getting cussed out by on the jail phone. I used to work in the jail. I've seen people of all economic classes, and maybe it wasn't the jail phone. Maybe they getting cussed out by the dude while he's sweeping floors somewhere, or whatever the case may be. He might be struggle rapping, putting cursing in them in some of his bars. But whatever the case, if you have to pay all their bills, that means that they don't care that much about you. Because if they really cared about you, whether you paid their bills or not, they still have the same amount of love. That's why you don't do it on the front end. People, if you're gonna do it on the back end, if you're gonna do it after you've been with the girl for a while and you feel like she's earned it, that's one thing. But if you're gonna do it like when you first meet them, like it's a necessity to be able to get in a relationship, all you're gonna end up with in most cases is heartache. You may be one of the outliers. Hey, you may get lucky. Muggsy Bogues was 5'3" and he made it to the NBA. Is that likely to be anybody else? No. Only one person did it. So probably not. But it could be you. You could be one of the lucky ones.